Hello, and welcome to my channel. Have you ever felt like life keeps breaking you, no matter how hard you try? Like no matter what you do, things just won't get better. Imagine walking through life with nothing, not even a proper pair of shoes. This is the story of Robert, a beggar whose broken shoe became a symbol of something much greater. By the end of this video, you'll see how even the most broken things can lead to incredible strength. So, stay with me, because this might just change the way you see your own journey. There was once a beggar named Robert, who lived on a busy street. Every day, he would sit by the side of the road, asking for help. The city was always loud and crowded. Cars honked, people rushed by, and no one seemed to notice the man sitting quietly in the corner. Robert's clothes were old and torn, hanging loosely over his thin frame. But the most noticeable thing was his shoes. The right shoe was so broken that you could see the holes in it. Whenever a cold wind blew, Robert would feel the chill crawling up his foot. In the summer, the hot pavement burned his skin. Yet, despite his struggles, Robert always smiled at everyone who passed by. Some people would drop a few coins into his cup. Others would walk past without even glancing at him. And a few would give him looks of pity or judgment. But no matter how people treated him, he kept smiling, hoping for a better day. Deep down, Robert believed that one day, his life would change, he just didn't know when. One afternoon, as the sun hung high in the sky, a wealthy businessman walked past Robert. His shoes were polished and shiny, and his suit looked perfect. When he glanced down at Robert, he noticed the broken shoe for just a moment, but he was in a hurry. Meetings. Calls. Deadlines. He kept walking without a second thought. To him, Robert was just another face in the crowd, another person he didn't have time for. Later that day, as the shadows grew longer, a little boy walked by with his mother. Unlike everyone else, the boy stopped. He stared at Robert, his curious eyes settling on the broken shoe. After a moment, he tugged his mother's sleeve and walked closer. The boy tilted his head and asked softly, "Why don't you fix your shoe?" Robert sighed and smiled gently, "It's broken. There's no point. No one wants to help me." The boy thought for a moment, then smiled brightly and said something unexpected, "But you're still walking, aren't you? Maybe it's not about fixing what's broken, but making the best of what you have." His words were simple. But they hit Robert like a spark in the darkness. That night, Robert lay on the cold ground, staring up at the stars. The city lights flickered in the distance, but his mind was filled with the little boy's words. Maybe it's not about being perfect, he thought to himself. Maybe it's about trying, no matter what. He had spent so many days waiting for someone to fix his problems. Waiting for someone to save him. But maybe, just maybe, he didn't have to wait anymore. For the first time in a long time, Robert felt a small spark of hope. The next morning, as the sun rose and the city came to life, Robert made a decision. Instead of waiting, he would start walking. At first, it wasn't easy. His feet ached. The broken shoe scraped against the pavement. But every day, he kept moving forward. And little by little, something incredible happened. He started finding ways to repair his shoes. With scraps of fabric and discarded materials, he patched the holes. He learned how to sew and fix what was broken. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. And as he fixed his shoes, he also began fixing his life. He stopped waiting for help and started looking for small jobs. Sweeping shop floors. Carrying packages. Whatever he could find. Slowly, the coins in his cup became honest wages. His hands grew calloused from work, but his heart grew stronger. Word of Robert's transformation spread through the neighborhood. People who had once ignored him began to respect him. They saw how he refused to give up, even when life seemed impossible. The same businessman who had walked past him before. He noticed Robert again. But this time, he didn't see a helpless beggar. He saw a man who had found his strength. And the little boy? He smiled whenever he passed by, proud to see how far Robert had come. One day, as Robert sat down to rest after a long day of work, he looked at his old, patched-up shoe. It wasn't broken anymore. But even if it had been, he knew something important: the broken shoe was never a sign of defeat. It was a reminder of his strength, a symbol of the fact that, no matter how broken life seemed, he had the power to keep moving forward. And so do you. So, no matter where you are in life, keep moving forward. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today.